Hey, good morning, Church on the Ridge. Hey, it's Thursday and it's going to be an awesome day. I'm really looking forward to the weekend. It's Father's Day. It'll be my first Father's Day as a grandpa. Zappy is so excited. I'm finishing up the book of Colossians and I read this part where it says Paul's signing his name, and typically somebody else wrote for him, and then he'd come to the end and he'd write his own little comments. And his own little comment at the end of Colossians is, remember my imprisonment. And then he signs Paul. Paul was writing this from prison. My grandfather was in prison and we used to go visit him. And when I was little, my parents would tell us, we're going to go visit Grandpa. He's in the hospital. And after a few years of visiting Grandpa, every year, I don't remember what days we'd visit him. Maybe it was Father's Day. I can't really remember. But I'd look at the barbed wire and get through the metal detectors and the guards and the whole process, and said, this is not a hospital. And then my parents had to own up to the truth that Grandpa had been a bad man and not done some good things, and so we ended up in prison. Paul was in prison too, but he was not a bad man. He was a really good man. He was a bad man before he met Jesus. Then God turned him into a good man, but he was in prison not for being bad, but for following Jesus, for doing everything that God wanted him to do. And the authorities didn't appreciate that, so they threw him in prison. And I wonder about my life. Am I going to be like my grandfather, or am I going to be like the Apostle Paul? What would it take for me to get to prison? Would I do it for doing bad, or would they throw me in prison for doing good? I want my life to be marked by the good that I do, even if it costs me everything. I want to follow Jesus. I don't want to be a fair weather follower of Christ. Paul was not, and I want to follow his example. And I hope you do too. Today, it may be hard, may be difficult, but if you're going to get persecuted for something, if you're going to get yelled at for something, you're going to get in trouble for something, let it be for following Jesus, not for doing the wrong thing. Father, thank you for this great day. Thank you for your love for us. And God, let that devotion to you, let my heart for you, let my passion for you, God, be so overwhelming that I would die for you. I'd go to prison for you. Whatever it took, God, I would do it because I am so committed to who you are. And I pray that would be true for each one of us, God, that our hearts be so enthralled with you that no matter what, I would write letters from prison. Jesus, let it be. In your name, amen. Hey, I love you, Church on the Ridge. Let's put our lives on the line for Christ. Let's do anything for him. He is worth it. Have a great day. Look forward to seeing you this weekend.